late night 90210 edition of studentloanjustice.org. We are Student Loan Justice. We are the oldest, largest, first, and in many ways, in all the important ways, the only true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. Hey, I'm going to get right into it tonight, guys. It's 8 o'clock my time, but really it's 11 or like 10 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock Eastern, East Coast time. We are in Beverly Hills, believe it or not, in super nice digs here, I'm thrilled to say. We're giving a talk tomorrow at the, I can't remember the name of the place. We're giving a talk tomorrow at 6:30 or 7 p.m. That bothers me. I'm gonna remember it before the end of this live stream. So tonight, guys, I want to talk about the Supreme Court case that wound its way up to oral arguments today. There's actually two cases, but no matter. Hopefully you know the background of these cases. So this group started the whole entire public conversation about canceling student loans by executive order. Very important thing, that executive order part, because prior to us breaking the ice on that concept, all the loan cancellation that we heard bandied about from Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and others were like, yeah, I want to cancel student loans, and here's how I'm going to pay for it. They were going to go through Congress, ladies and gentlemen. That is stupid, and it makes zero sense at all. The federal government owns 87% of all student loan debt. The federal government paid for these loans many years ago. Whenever you were in college is when the federal government paid for your direct student loans, which nearly 90% of everybody has at this point. The federal government should not have to pay twice to cancel these loans. They shouldn't have to have Congress raise money and take that money from the Treasury or add it to the national debt, like PPP loans, for example, print new money, sell bonds, whatever, somehow come up with money to cancel student loans. That's ridiculous. The president and the secretary have long-standing authority, going back to the Higher Education Act of 1965, and in fact, going back to a public law predating the Higher Education Act of 1965, going back to the 50s, where the Commissioner of Higher Education and then the legislation was grandfathered in. The Secretary of Higher Education has broad, unambiguous authority to waive, compromise, release federally owned student loan debt, which is 90% of all student loan debt. So you would think that we would be thrilled when Biden rolled out his loan cancellation thing. And by the way, if you have any questions or comments, throw them out now. And if I can see them on Facebook or Twitter, very happy to respond to them. I should say, guys, I won't get ahead of myself. So we started a petition in March 2020 before months and months and months before anybody was talking about canceling student loans by executive order. Our petition grew to, it's now at 1.2 million signatures, but right around the time it was about 600,000 or 700,000 signatures. Elizabeth Warren, Chuck Schumer embraced the concept. They stole it. They appropriated it from us, and that's fine. That's great. We weren't thrilled. Their thing was not super great. It was like cancel up to $50,000, whatever that means. And so lo and behold, right before the presidential election, Joe Biden was saying things like, I'm going to eliminate your student loan debt. And then lo and behold, again, right before the midterms, Joe Biden actually announced a student loan cancellation by executive order. So good on us for starting that whole ball rolling. But ladies, and it's been challenged. The Republic has become a partisan football. And the Republicans, by and large, most incredibly, states like Nebraska and Missouri, these are states that are being absolutely wrecked by student loan debt, by the way. The state attorney general of those states, they decided to sue the administration in court, or sue the Department of Education. So those hearings were heard today. It was the oral arguments today. But let me back up just a bit. Let me say, guys, you would think that we would be thrilled at that having achieved getting a sitting president to announce a student loan cancellation by executive order, but we're not. We never were. In fact, the day that thing was announced, we wrote an article titled something like Joe Biden's cancellation plan is suspicious, vague and suspicious or something. It was not anything like we had called for. It wasn't. I mean, we're calling for canceling all federally owned student loans. The entire lending system is done. It's failed. It's toast. The loans, by and large, will be canceled, ladies and gentlemen. That is an inalterable fact. That is a matter of reality. That's true. But Joe Biden said, "Oh, no. I'm only going to do $10,000 or maybe $20,000 if you got the Pell Grant." So it was dumbed down from the beginning. Did not help the worst hurt borrowers. Many, if not most of the people on our group are like, you can just add 10,000 onto my balance. It's like, fucking stupid. So, pardon my French. So we were not at all impressed with Joe Biden's loan cancellation from the get-go, let me say. Then we get these challenges from Mo Gila and the Nebraska State Attorneys General and many other lawsuits, which is the most stupid thing in the world. But that's another thing. So today they filed suit. A couple of those cases actually made the Supreme Court. Today they held oral arguments. Now I'm here to tell you guys, and by the way, if you heard the oral arguments, I would really like to hear your reaction, because I got to tell you guys, I'm just now getting settled down into my hotel room. I haven't even had the chance to listen to the oral arguments. I haven't even had a chance I read just a tiny bit of the transcripts. So I don't know exactly what's going on. I did hear a couple of radio and television blurbs about Justice Kavanaugh and Justice Gorsuch making just asinine, complete swamp comments in their questions, I should say. They were asking questions that were seeded to them by the student loan swamp. In other words, the people making money off of this scam. And, we've heard it all before. What do you say to the people who paid in years past? What do you say to people who never went to college because they didn't want to take on the debt? What do you say to people who paid their own way through college, didn't take out loans? What do you say to just nonsense? And I'm happy to defeat all those questions if you want me to. But in the interest of time, let's just move it along. Here's the big picture, guys. We were never thrilled with Biden's cancellation in the first place. And politically, we're a fiercely nonpartisan group, guys, but we're very partisan and politically aware on this group. And I'm here to tell you that no matter which way this Supreme Court cases go, we pretty much lose. This whole Supreme Court nonsense is it's a rigged game, no matter which way the court winds up ruling. So at this point, I don't know. I like I said, I didn't hear the arguments, but you may have some thoughts of your own. I'm looking for your comments right now. By the way, guys, I swear to you, I'm going to. There they are, right there. And if I can see them on Twitter also. Come on, where'd it go? So I'm very interested to hear your comments, but the big picture, guys, is no matter which way these court cases go, it really doesn't matter much one way or the other as far as we go. If Biden was successful and they do cancel $10,000, maybe $20,000, it will help a lot of people. That's for sure, and that's good. But if you owe $10,000 or less on your student loans, you are not in our group. $10,000, even $20,000 does little or nothing. It's insulting to those of us who have been racked by this debt for decades and decades. We have people who owe many hundreds of thousands of dollars, which, and these are loans that in many decades ago began as, $10,000 or $20,000 loans. So So if this would have been a 20-year ago cancellation, maybe I'd be thrilled about it. But no. This loan cancellation does not help those who are hurt worst. And I could go into all the different permutations of what the different outcomes might be. But, quite frankly, I think Biden and the Biden people designed this loan cancellation to fail. Joe Biden is not a good guy, ladies and gentlemen. He's a friend of the swamp. He's always been. Joe Biden deserves more credit than any living, serving politician in the United States of America for creating the student loan scam. And that's true. Joe Biden never wanted to cancel loans. He was dragged to canceling loans, kicking and screaming. Like before the presidential elections, oh yeah, I'm going to cancel your loans. Like I'm going to eliminate your debt. If you went to a public college and you earned less than $125,000 a year, I'm going to eliminate your debt. That's what he said. And then right after he got elected, he said, oh, no, by executive order. No, I'm not doing that. Here's the dirty little trick. Here's the secret little trick that nobody's telling you guys. This is very important. No one in Washington, D.C. makes any money when student loans are canceled by executive order. No one makes money. You draw a line through a ledger, that artificial wealth is deleted, and that's it. Nobody gets paid. Now, when you cancel student loans through Congress, everybody gets paid. The taxpayer gets soaked for hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars, just like what happened with PPP loans. And everybody gets paid. The Department of Education would love to have a 1 point whatever trillion dollars dropped on them in cash. And they would very happily pretend to cancel student loans. Probably wouldn't cancel many, because the thing you need to know about the Department of Education is they have never had any desire or intentions of actually canceling any loans. They're just not built to do that. They don't like to do it. They won't do it. Even under the threat of federal prison to the previous Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, they do not like to cancel loans. Now, if you throw $1 trillion out of them, they'll make a little go of it. They'll make a nice dog and pony show and say, they'll trot out all these. Look at these loans are canceled. But that's the dirty little secret, guys. Nobody gets paid when loans are canceled by executive order. And by the way, nobody gets paid when loans are canceled through bankruptcy either, which brings me to maybe the largest point that you people need to realize. As long as we, the people, are stripped of the constitutional right of bankruptcy, as we are uniquely for student loans, we can beg Joe Biden or the next president or whoever forever. And what we're going to get is bullshit like what we're watching right now, ladies and gentlemen. As long as we don't have the leverage of bankruptcy rights back on our side, as they exist for every other type of loan, I don't see any hope. I see no hope. And, the other groups out there, I saw how many groups were protesting the Supreme Court today. Like those people, not one of those groups, not one of them, not even one of those fucking groups claiming to be fighting for citizens fought for bankruptcy last session. We had great bills, Democratic bills even, sponsored by Democrats. We also had a longstanding promise going back to the 2016 DNC platform to return the bankruptcy protections to student loans. None of those groups did anything that I ever saw to actually fight for the return of bankruptcy to student loans. They're a bunch of political hacks. They're hacks. Like, I would bet, who's that? What's that chick's name? Melissa McBurn or something like that. Melissa Byrne. I don't know. This chick fought against bankruptcy. And what do you know? Somebody dug into her little thing, and it turned out that she was on the payroll of the DNC, the Democratic National Committee. So, guys, this is the dirtiest little, most important truth I will tell you tonight. The kryptonite, our biggest power, Our biggest muscle that we could possibly have is getting our bankruptcy rights back. We were very close last year, by the way, but for some 11th hour manipulations and machinations and Machiavellian maneuvers, I would say by Democrats as much as Republicans, our bills would have passed. So it still all comes down to bankruptcy, guys. And that's coming from the guy, the group that got this whole ball rolling. To me, it makes almost no sense to demand cancellation unless and until we get the leverage of bankruptcy returned. Bankruptcy remains incredibly important. And on that note, I've heard rumors, and I think they're probably fairly credible, that Dick Durbin is going to reintroduce the legislation that he had going last session. So, we're still in the game, guys. But what I will tell you is this: no matter what you want to see happen with your student loans, whether you want them canceled entirely, as I think most people do, whether you want a break on interest, whether you want some special deal according to your own circumstances, or whether you just have to file for bankruptcy. The wheels are just too far gone. Whatever you want to see happen with your student loans, we've got to get the leverage of bankruptcy returned. And as long as that's gone from us, we can be fucking begging Joe fucking Biden, pardon my French twice, until the cows come home. And that's just the way that goes, guys. Don't shoot the messenger. I wish it wasn't like that, but it just is, ladies and gentlemen. So I am looking now, finally, for your... I thought I found the live stream, but I thought wrong. I was looking in the wrong place. So, and by the way, if you have any comments, if you heard the oral arguments today, I'd be very keen to know what your thoughts were about it. Because like I said, I'm just getting into it now. So whatever, damn it. So whatever your thoughts may be on that, I'd be interested in hearing. I saw a little, just out of the corner of my eye, I saw somebody, our opposition. It seemed to me that they were trying to say that because Biden did the cutoff, in other words, the $125,000 or more of earnings don't get the cancellation. It almost seemed like they were trying to say that was, discriminatory or something, which is interesting, very interesting to me. So okay, finally, I can see your comments. I'm going to get right into them, guys. Hey, Paula Schultz is with us tonight. Hey, Paula. I hope you're coming to the thing tomorrow. I know you came to our last thing, but I hope you come to this thing. By the way, if you're in Los Angeles, like I said, come to our thing tomorrow. It might be rainy and shitty out, but what better environs could you ask for to get some cocoa, put on a sweater, and snuggle up in a cozy movie theater in a really, really, really nice place? This is going to be... Lisa, are you there? What is the place? I keep wanting to say like the Brindle Auditorium or something, but no, it's not that. It's something else. It's a really nice thing up on the 405, just north of the Getty Center. So way sort of crooked up in the freaking Bel Air, Beverly Hills up in there. So anyways, hey, JJ Batch is with us tonight. JJ says the Supreme Court decision is very doubtful, according to political media. Oh, well, according to political media, since, the mainstream media has been completely against us. They have been completely swamped ever since the concept of canceling student loans by executive order came up. So, yeah, of course, if you go to Forbes magazine, they're going to say, oh, it doesn't look good. Oh, Forbes people are full of shit. And remember this, guys. I honestly, and I've been doing this for 18 years, I literally don't care what Forbes has to say. Those people are the most biased, the most conflicted. They have the most blatant conflicts of interest. Those people all make money in their main jobs. These people all make money on the student loan scam. The last thing they want is this lending system to go away. So these people are just completely full of shit. And anyways, don't get me started. We can't expect the mainstream media to win this battle for us, guys. And like I said, I don't care really what the swamp creatures in Washington, D.C. say, do, or don't do, because I know the loans will be canceled. It's inevitable. The loans, by and large, absolutely will be canceled. You know, before this pandemic, nearly 60%, that's close to 2/3 of all borrowers were not paying on their loans. They had stopped paying on their loans. And that was as of 3 years ago, guys. And for the past 3 years, nobody almost essentially has been paying on their loans. Has the economy gotten better since then? No. Is the economy probably going to get worse going forward? Yes. Do we have inflation that has eaten up every nickel of savings that this repayment pause has provided to the borrowers? Yes, it has. And so if 60% of everyone was not paying before the pandemic, what do you think that's going to be whenever they have the gall or the balls to try and turn this lending fiasco back on? You know, you'd have better luck trying to revive a corpse. And unless you're like Dr. Frankenstein or something, I just don't see it happening. People are not going to pay. And let me just say this. If you sitting there, if you ever pay another dollar back on your federal student loans, first of all, my humble opinion is that that's both unwise and, in my view, unpatriotic. Nobody should be feeding this beast. But if you do, everybody's going to make their own decisions. If you do, you will be in the tiny sliver, the tiny minority of the borrowers. My best estimate is that within about 3 to 4 months of them turning the loans back on, it would be stunning to me if even 20%, 1 in 5 of the people were paying. I think it'll be closer to like 15%, or who knows, maybe 10%, maybe 100%, because finally we're going to reach that critical mass where everybody's like, fuck you, fuck student loans. These fucking things don't even exist. Student loans only exist in the minds of some accountants and some bankers in and around Washington, D.C., and some politicos and some swamp people inside the Beltway, and maybe at a couple state guarantee agencies. Student loans are a national fucking joke, pardon my French. And that's where we're going. And by the way, if the Supreme Court rules against this cancellation, well, that's just one more chasm between reality, which is what I just said, and jurisprudence, and what the talking heads at Forbes magazine and the Department of Education, all the little swampy little sycophants that go skirting around the edges of this lending abomination. The lending system is done, guys. It's toast. It's failed. And if you throw more money at it, in my opinion, you're a fucking fool. Pardon my French. So, and you know, I actually, like I said, I don't care much about this case, but you know, seeing all the rhetoric, I just couldn't help myself. I wrote a letter to Judge Gorsuch last week. And I basically said, Judge Gorsuch, you know, you say that you claim to be fighting against the administrative state. I said, Judge Gorsuch, the administrative state absolutely does not want to cancel loans. This nonsense lawsuit, these nonsense lawsuits that they heard oral arguments about today, that may as well be the Department of Education suing itself. Like, they're kind of the same people. They all run in the same little clubs, the same little crowds. The last thing the administrative state wants to do is cancel loans. So I think I said something to the effect of Judge Gorsuch, they are playing you for a fool. I hope I said that. I don't know exactly. I think I said they are trying to trick you. I think that's what I said. Anyways, that's the straight dope, guys. And remember, I don't give two shits, and maybe you shouldn't either, about what the talking heads from Forbes magazine, other places, the mainstream media generally, what they say. This hasn't really, and the more time goes on, the less this problem has to do with their bullshit and what they decide to print in the mainstream media, and far more to do with you. Are you going to let yourself be conquered and enslaved by this freaking just ridiculous, laughable, I'd say idiotic, cheesy rat trap of a loan scam? Like, are you really going to let, this little Guido guy you see on, walking down the street, are you really going to let this huckster rip you off? Well, that's kind of what it comes down to, guys. I mean, at some point, at what point is your pride just so insulted that they would even have the balls to try and put this unconstitutional lending fantasy on us? And that's what it is. Make no mistake. That $1.7 trillion, $6 trillion, almost all of that is profit. The taxpayers have made a king's fucking ransom on this scam, pardon my French, and every dollar that you pay into it makes it stronger. So at what point, they say if you're digging yourself in a hole, the first thing you should do, if you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you should do is stop digging. Well, so too is it with the federal student loan program. Anyways, so Paula, I will post the links. In fact, I did post the links to the oral arguments on our Facebook group. They're probably going to be, I want to say just below this post here, this live stream post. So JJ also says, won't be surprised if it gets struck down. The shamers can kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. The way I look at it, JJ, we're good whichever way this case goes. If they strike it down, well then fine. Fuck it. We'll do a mass student loan burning. And we've already begun doing that. And by the way, if you want to make a video of yourself destroying your student loan papers, hopefully in very photogenic, creative, clever, exciting, visually interesting, and hopefully no more than 30 seconds ways, we would love to post your video of you destroying your student loans, because this lending system is finished. It's over the cliff. It's failed. Lending systems fail from time to time, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the subprime home mortgage crisis. Look at the S&L loan scam of the early 80s. Look at all of fucking Europe after World War II and World War I. A lot of loans didn't get paid there, guys. Look at the Lend-Lease program, where I think Russia paid back like a dime on the dollar for the $8 billion in 1942 dollars that we lent to Russia during World War II. And even Adam Smith himself has said, the wealth of nations is often characterized throughout history by pretend payments, pretend, fantasy, fiat doesn't exist. So don't trip, guys. We got this. Free Chacha says, are we losing the battle? The only reason we haven't won this battle, Frey, and is that more people haven't found the courage to stand up and call this bullshit what it is. Will we lose the battle? No, of course not. The loans will not be repaid. The loans will not be repaid by and large. 99 or whatever. If you look at the pie, like but for one tiny sliver of like the 10% or 15% of people who probably will pay, the loans will not be repaid. The loans will be canceled. Now, whether that happens in a quick and clean manner, or whether we have to go to civil unrest, and like if people are going to start, going postal, and we're going to see a dystopian, violent outcome. I don't know. I hope we get the clean, quick way done. But one thing I can tell you for sure is that when the American people, and when I say American people, when I mean when 42 million American student loan borrowers all decide that they're done, guess what happens? They're done. The lending system vanishes into illegitimacy, and we're already there, guys. We're already there. So I'm seeing a whole bunch of comments here, guys, and I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of them. Lisa Longmire says, "Isn't Mohila one of the companies suing? By the way, why does it take them so long to process anything?" Yes, Mohila is, well, the Missouri Attorney General is one of the people suing. That's true. Or and actually, I think it is Mohila, and I think they tried to rope in the Missouri Attorney General. I'm not sure where that went actually. And by the way, the state budget of Missouri is $25 billion. The people of Missouri, in other words, the state of Missouri, the people, they owe $35 billion in mostly federal student loan debt, probably $32 billion. They owe more than their entire state budget in federal student loan debt. So why again does a state like Missouri that's being wrecked by student loan debt have any standing to try and kill a cancellation which cancels federal debt, takes federal debt away off the backs of the people of the state of Missouri? The people of the state of Missouri need to stand up and be fucking heard. Like, look what your leaders are doing to you. Does that not make blood shoot out of your fucking eyes? Pardon my French. Anyways, guys, it's obviously late. My mouth is getting a little foul. I'm tired. I need to get some sleep and stuff. So I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to all your comments. But I will look them over in the morning. I've still got to go through the oral argument. So whatever, guys, don't trip. We're stronger than we've ever been. And no matter which way this nonsense Supreme Court case goes, we're going to get stronger than ever. But we need your help. And that is the one serious thing I will say, ladies and gentlemen. You got to own this problem. You've got to own this problem. You can't sneeze it away. These are your loans, and your livelihood is in the balance. Like I said, this could have a quick, clean ending, or the loans could be canceled through your expiration. In other words, you may spend the rest of your life under this ridiculous debt. That would be the very hard way. Let's fight for the easy way, shall we? Why would you not? This is a working fighting group. The other bullshit groups on the internet claiming to be fighting for students, they're completely full of shit. And they probably don't ask you to do anything, really. Well, we're telling you, if you're going to be on this group, you got to be helping us fight, doing our daily actions at a minimum. So if you want to go and be entertained, and you want to have people blow smoke up your ass, and you want to have people that try their hardest to make you feel good, well, then you go and hang out with the other groups. Get the fuck off of our groups. We don't want you here. We need people who are willing to fight. We need people like Rob Miller, like Paula, like Joanna Kearns, like Paula Schultz, like all the people I see on the live stream tonight. We've managed to get one hell of a lot done, ladies and gentlemen, both on bankruptcy, which is the most important, and on student loan cancellation. You know, you didn't have to blow smoke up our ass to make that happen, but so too is it. If you want to be a part of this group here, you got to fight this battle with us. You've got to get your hands a little dirty, maybe a little bloody. And if you're not willing to do that, then piss off. We don't want you in our group. And to those of you who have been fighting and seen the results that we've gotten, well, you know, I salute you. We are the pioneers. We have made history here in this group, and you all have a lot to be proud of. But unfortunately, because the Democrats betrayed us last session, we're going to have to fight harder than ever. This coming year is going to be just extremely difficult for us. But it gets a lot easier when people out there, the wallflowers, get off their asses and start helping. And I don't know what else I can say to you. I'm not a cheerleader. I'm not going to beg. You gotta fight your own battle on this group, and otherwise you will be sunk. So fighters only. You want to flee? You want to take flight somewhere else? Well, just hit the brakes. So I hope that's clear. All right, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. I think I just need to sleep, Paula, but thank you. So, okay, without further ado, I'll check you guys out tomorrow. Good luck. Godspeed. Doing our daily actions. Let me dial that in. If you do nothing else today, do the past month worth of our daily actions. You got to have a Twitter account. Good luck. God bless. And Godspeed, everyone.